Welcome to the first Shanghai qualifying day. Left it a little bit late in the day, but that's fine. FPX versus Trace. Whoever is going to win this series is the first team to qualify for Shanghai. Both these teams faced each other at kickoff. FPX came out on top then. And Kai's already found the opening. I think Berlin getting one there when he's fully flashed is kind of crazy. I also need to up the quality as well. It looks like it's like less than 30 frames per second, but that's just because I haven't upped it to lossless. Nothing following the Gecko Flash, and also really nice position here to avoid it completely. Nice smoke here, like when you're comfortable trying to take elbow control, smoking this off is nice. You also have a poison cloud there too. You're playing around both of them by the looks. Tracer just not showing anything. Really nice pistol in the end. Right, let me just up the quality a little bit. There we go. That's a lot better. Was Sliggy watch EMEA? I'd have to imagine, yeah. But him watching EMEA in Americas is crazy. Hey Zilv, good work yesterday. Do you think FPX have the biggest hit in terms of Viper nerfs since most of the comps have Viper? Not really, because it is Autumn who was the duelist moving over to Viper recently. Like, Autumn can play kind of anything. And overall, I'd say that FPX benefit the most because they're not afraid to do some really kooky stuff. Like, they ran triple controller with the Clove against Billy last week. Wasn't great, but like, they are genuinely thinking of like out there ideas. FPX is like Paper X, their players are so versatile, yeah. And they come up with creative ideas. It's like if you took the EMEA FPX team with like Angel and stuff on it, and Paper X, and they had a baby, it would be this FPX team. Like, very versatile players, but you have like the constant comp switching and big ideas, but maybe overcooking it like Angel typically would. Nice and easy plant. Lao King is pushing a little bit aggressively. I need to stop calling him Lao King, it's Luo. You get a punt, only a couple of players die. You don't get a gun upgrade though for Fung. Well, no, actually. So doing it like that, like the FPX buy from way back when, you can either pick up a weapon off one of your dead teammates, so you have another gun to pick it to your bonus, or you could just buy up a rifle. Most of the teams run Viper base comps. Yeah, I'd say so, but also it genuinely feels like a lot of teams were prepared for this. I don't know if pros had a heads up ahead of time on the Viper nerfs. I know that they had a heads up that this patch was going to be a big one. But I do feel that we saw teams proactively moving away from playing Viper before the nerfs were even announced. They just knew. And also Riot said, like, some of the changes to Viper came out early with how long the smoke duration stayed up. And they said that that's staying in and more Viper nerfs are coming, so I guess teams were like, alright, we're just going to move off Viper anyway. So Wingman's come out. Kai's pretty low health. Being able to plant here is tough. Good trade actually from YOU. Risky fight for life to be taking, and actually FPX have been sort of backed into a corner a little bit here. Lysol, I'm really excited to see. Lysol was tragic at Madrid. People were asking for him to get dropped, and I think even the org was considering it because they were practicing with their sub Zishuan. And then Lysol's just been incredible this whole stage. Like Navi on Breeze, yeah. The nicest compliment I could give to FPX, and like the meanest backhanded compliment I can give to Navi, is FPX and Navi with self-awareness. I mean, FPX did well to turn that around because they stopped the plan going down. At that point, it just feels like Trace are just going to stall out massively. But still, there was a nice couple of kills that they got. Lysol doesn't get those two, because it was a 3 versus 5 at this point, and then it was suddenly a 3 versus 3. So Lysol getting those two. Bit of a rough flash from the sky, just didn't quite connect. Yeah, like they put Lysol more in his like main role, which is controller, because they had him on Viper and Killjoy and stuff beforehand, and he just didn't look that comfortable with it. I like the aggression though. Nade close. Wyu's just owning life this game so far. I think the head-to-head is like 2-0 towards YOU. I would kind of be down for Trace to win this series, though. I predicted FPX, but because I feel much like I think FPX would just sweep DRG if they went to the losers bracket together. But imagine if DRG beat EDG and Trace beat FPX. Like either one of FPX or EDG go to Shanghai. That'd be crazy. But that would also be very China. Again, they're just getting stalled out on like actually planting, and then they just get stuck in lamps. They're not rotating away. It's like they're getting so deep, they can't do the plant, and then they just kind of get restricted in space. EDG ain't losing to DRG. I don't think so either, but I want to say that EDG have been looking as convincing recently. Well, I say that, like the only reason why you'd say is because they lost to FPX in groups. Literally every other series minus the JDG one, they were kind of stomping. But this is the biggest event. Like being able to go to an international event that's in your country, the first of its kind for China, because they only properly got the game like last year. Officially, at least. Oh shit. I was gonna say, if Live managed to get out of there, he'd be a magician. But that's just a bit of an overstep. He was on an outlaw. Like, FPX are also one of the only few teams that I see actually pick up the outlaw when they're expecting to go into, like, half armor. And I guess you can play a bit more aggressive with the outlaw in rounds like this because it's not like a big pickup from Trace, and it's not a big money investment like the operator is. You buy the outlaw and then just buy a rifle next round. But they actually use it as an anti-eco weapon when they can, which is really good. I don't see many teams actively doing it. This event's going to be incredible. It's, yeah. China definitely not skimping out on anything. Luo King also waiting for the flank too. Fooling once kind of vibes. I can't believe that this 50 is the thing that's actually turning it up, but Lysol is in a 1v2. Only one player has a rifle, but Luo King actually rotating all the way around to play long. Still thinks he's hookah, but a good rotation. Yeah, Luo King is just like the... Oh, that, though. Fung gets taken out. He's still convinced that he's going to be here. So this adjustment is genius from Luo King. I would have thought at some point, maybe, that they're expecting Luo King to maybe be around long. Lysol was just not convinced. Waiting for the day that they give us Chinese voice lines in Valorant outside of Ice on Stage. Wait, so you can't have, like, language localization for Chinese in other regions? Because I was considering doing that. This is a tech pause. So I feel like we at least get a bit of a minute. Does anybody know if the tournament client is the same in China as the rest of the globe? Does Ryan speak Chinese? No. There's no joke there, no. Split 2 will be on like whatever latest patch it is at that point. Shanghai, I'm pretty sure will be on... It'll be on 8.08. Or maybe even 8.09. Because like 8.09 would come out... When did we get the patch? Last week? So it would come out next Tuesday, which is the 14th. But I can imagine that 8.09 like has nothing in it, just like bug fixes, general bits and pieces. Yeah, like usually when we get a big patch with a lot of balance changes, the one afterwards is just like maybe some bug fixes on like guns or utility. The last 2 games of Pacific playoffs are on the Viper nerf patch. Apparently, that's not true. That was T1's coach saying that initially, and then realizing that it was an error. It was like a mistranslation. So all of the playoff games in all of the regions are on the old patch. He's not spreading misinformation. He was just misinformed. You make it sound like it was intentional. 8.11 has big duelist changes coming up, which could be very fun. Yeah, I agree. I think the thing that's confusing for me, I've said it a couple of times, but now we have a break. 8.11 is literally the last patch before 9.0. And 9.0, we know that we're getting a new map, because that map is going to be announced at Shanghai Grand Finals. Because it's the start of a new episode, I imagine we'd get a new map pool too. So I think this is Riot's attempt to, like, if there's like duelist changes, big changes there, I think this is Riot's attempt to go, for the pros at least, you got a couple of weeks to try out these changes before we change up the maps. But I also think they would announce, like, okay, we have a new map, but they'll also announce here, like, what the new map pool is. Like, we're getting rid of Breeze and Icebox, and we're bringing back Haven and new map, whatever it's called.
而且因为现在大家在员工重镇这张地图里面，除非你队伍当中有非常强的少尉，像 Vocatio 啊这种，对吧？一般其实大家都已经开始不带少尉。
This is the worst map pool ever. I agree, but I also feel if you think it can't get worse, it probably can. It's a hard map pool, I think, too. It's very default heavy, very big maps. I feel like it's a lot of maps that ask a lot out of you. Alright, why use in? Is this an eco round? Sort of. Like, buy next, essentially. The showstopper from life. You're in a 4 versus 4. Fung Fung's down. You got an orbital strike. You got a thrash now. 2 away from a Viper's pit. Orbital strike's just buying a bit more time. Even like just breaking it here for life. That's brave for Luo King on 29 HP to be reloading out in the open, but I guess he's just there for like information. He's like, I'm 30 HP, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna see when they peek and who it is. Kai, how has he got 2 there? He eventually gets taken out. But hey, Bane, why you peek off of him really nicely? I almost felt like a human shell after that many hours of streaming. Yeah. Streaming is hard, man. I think streaming's harder than doing like broadcast work. Why are teams running Fade instead of Sky? Oh, why? I think because Sky is still amazing on this map. Like, just the utility just fits it like a glove. Are you still working with Sliggy? In the sense that I'm uploading these VODs to his channel, yeah.
刚才这一回合，因为刚才在打之前，其实方 plus 基本上大家大招都只差1到2个技能点了，所以接下来的话是一个可能3大4大的一个情况。但是不得不说是小开刚才这波击杀之后，他可能上。
We need a duelist that TPs onto players he kills.
也有点快啊。
因为刚刚其实有注意到 T1的整体的终极技能。
How would that even work? Trying to think of any like broken examples. Like you just play with a Phoenix. Phoenix runs in, gets the kills, and you just TP to them all. I don't think we'll see anything like that because I think Riot have always said that Neon will always be like the fastest agent in the game movement-wise. But Jet is the most like explosive movement with a dash. They say that, but then you've got like ray satchels and stuff. The thing is, we need more dive duelists. Like until they make changes there, like Jet and Raze especially are going to be like top of their class. If you make another agent as a bigger dash than Jet, then that's just power creep. And I think I mean, I come from Overwatch where power creep is definitely a thing. And there's instances of it, I think, in Valorant, for example, like I think Astra's been sort of left behind, especially with Cloves Edition. But I think Riot have been very good with agents having like an identity. Maybe the like agent doesn't necessarily hit the mark, like Yoru. But Yoru initially was just a pretty poor agent, but they reworked him nicely and they kept that same feel of what Yoru should do, like TPing around, misinformation. Nice double kill. Really nice flash too. Like this flash in the air is starting to finally get stuff from the get-go. Astra's global smoke is pretty massive though, yeah. I meant more like aesthetically, I guess. Like Clove with their like, especially from the music video thing that they had. It's like Clove is in like the cosmic world that Astra's in. They got Clove dancing around in the music video, doing all of this stuff. And Astra's probably just sat there like, what the fuck? Who's this? You kidding me? They should fight for showers now? Yeah, I mean, if it's just a straight execute this way, holding on to this is massive. But it doesn't matter if you've got like a Razor that's just clearing two people here. Because if you're going from short and you're not really doing stuff for showers, next best approach is to just kind of burst through it like this. Because you had YRU that was in showers at this point, I'm pretty sure, like jump for the TP, and you've just like cut across them. If an A execute manages to take back sight as well as being able to plant for free, its retakes on this map are difficult enough. If you lose this, you're kind of shit out of luck. Favorite to win Shanghai? Ooh. I don't know who we're even going to see qualify for Shanghai. How about Navi? Oh, no, wait. How about, wait, I don't even know the results from America. Was America's last night? I was asleep at like 9 p.m. I'm getting old. This is where I'd make a joke about the teams that were like G2 and 100 Thieves won. Loud lost to 100 Thieves. If it was anybody else that said that, Silva, I would have said that you're trolling me. Okay, fucking 100 Thieves is going to win Shanghai. There we go.
Life 转到了管道的位置，让队友能够回来，来反抢一个登防的位置，能够接住队友啊，可以接到了已经。那现在就
100 Thieves wiped them. Wonder what kind of I mean, Loud are in such a bad spot then, aren't they?
哇哟，直接倒，还有超杀，这个时候是咬住的情况，看看留一手这个穿位，两人能架住啊。
This is a good retake though. K Ultimate's massive here to just push things back. You got one snake bite still. Feng Feng's just holding on like. This has been, I mean, the cast is going crazy. Heibei's flanking as well. He's cut across here. Feng's satcheled onto one side, but gets traded by Heibei. Really nice round again from Trace. What's the money like for FPX now? Probably went 42-9 on defensive halves. I mean, I'm a big fan of Boostio. Big fan of the IGL. It's also a vibes merchant. That's hard to do. You're an IGL, you're usually the bad cop. Vibes merchant is a good call. This is a good post plant though. Really well put together. I think also contextually, because there's a lot of people here that might not know about Trace. We can go over Trace in a little bit. I do parrot the same things over and over again, but again, figured today, never take pause. All right, so for Trace, the 5 players are Feng Feng, which sounds exactly like you think it does. He is the like shadow version of Kung Kung, like Zibidi and Zbad basically does too. Jesus Christ, who is mostly on Raze. This isn't very easy to read. Mostly on Raze, but he'll also play like Silver and stuff, role-wise. So for Jet maps, you have Kai, who plays like Jet and stuff. We're about to get back into it. But if it's not a Jet map like this one, you might see him on Sentinel or flex into other roles like the Gecko. Heibei's the IGL. genuinely my favorite and maybe the best IGL in China. Maybe Berlin beats him. YOU's mostly be like a sentinel player, but he's like moving over to main initiator for the most part for this team this year, and it's been good. And Luo King, who is a recent addition, wasn't on this team for kickoff. He joined in stage 1 from Tyloo. And genuinely, I think he's been fantastic. He's not like smoggy performances where he's just getting high ACS and just fragging out like crazy. He is just Mr. Consistent. And when you have players like Kai and Feng Feng, even like Hebei can put up some crazy numbers. Like him being supportive is amazing, but also he is still getting kills at the same time. Whereas I think flexing before on this team was a liability. Flex equals Gecko only XD. In most cases, yeah, but Kai like plays Cypher and Killjoy on a lot of maps. And Destroyer from Trace, the coach, he is the Chinese Eng, as far as I'm concerned. At least when it comes to timeouts. He's the Chinese Sean Garris, actually, because Sean used to have some amazing timeouts for 100 Thieves. That's brave. It worked, though. But it's still a 2 versus 2, and you've got one player that has a Sheriff. Wingman's going to get on it. There's no Molly, actually. So YOU's had to give up their position. You got Hebei playing in hookah. Still has a stim, but I don't know what you can use it for. Skydog's still there. It is just pulling YOU over, and if both these players are pushing him, he might win both those fights. Hebei was about to drop down to potentially help him, but with time low, Ryan can't afford to really go for it. Holds onto the gun. And Hebei actually dies to spike. Yeah, he takes it hard on this map. I feel like this half has gone on for ages, but I guess it's because we've had 2 tech pauses. I think this is the first timeout that we've had. But sorry, FPX have already used one. They're using their second one for this half. Yeah, this is Destroyer. Biggest Chad coach I can think of. And this is also, is it Ye? Ye used to be the head coach of Tyloo.
包括峰峰，包括小开，包括刚才我们一直在聊的进攻性非常强的 Locking， 整体的一个提速能力一起来了以后，今天确实 FunPlus 前点有点接不住，所以要不要考虑什么？要么就是之前选择的单点那个。If
you maxed out on cash, some players will intentionally die to spike to get the death or orb copium. I was like reading it until then, and I'm like, wait, and then I saw copium. I'm like, okay, never mind. It took me a couple of years. Like literally, I was on the analyst desk for I think 2022 in EMEA. And I was like, wait, why does this player only have like a couple of deaths? He's died like at least 3 or 4 more times. I didn't realize that dying to the spike doesn't count as an actual death. Like Hebei is still on 3 deaths. The game was out for 2 years before I even realized that. Like I know that like dying to the spike doesn't give you an orb, doesn't give you anything, but I didn't realize that it technically doesn't count as a death. Great flash again. Like Feng Feng's movement, I'm surprised he didn't look forward. But the trade is there. Kai's utility has been a lot better, considering it looked like Tracer were just going to keep getting stuck here. Like, Feng Feng is just fucking again. And like now with this smoke, Feng Feng takes space, backs up. You got the Sky playing here a little bit later. I love playing here just because, you know, they're going to clear their seat, it's empty, and then the Sky will make their way up. Now they kind of need to, and the smoke is going to disappear. The Sky definitely needs to get moving now. Is why you're going to get checked here. They're not on the defuse yet, and time is starting to get a little bit low. They now know that they're here. They get the flash out just before the knife hits. It's amazing from YOU. Very unlucky, though, from Trace that the flash just came out right before the suppression kicked in. Crazy fight. How well do you think EDG would perform internationally wise if they had Destroyer? I do like After as a coach. But yeah, like I think that what if I'm JDG and I'm Mr. Moneybags over here because JDG have like so much money, I'm buying out Hebe and I'm buying out Destroyer. And then you keep players like Stu and stuff. I guess it's more of a question of like how good Destroyer and Hebe's English is. And if I'm putting together a team, that's like the core I start with.
就起码他的回防现在真的不能够说是再出现这样的不停的掉人的情况，而且你要
Surely FPX get this 4-8. You'd be worried otherwise, because if he's above the timeouts already, they have a buy here. They barely have enough money. This is round 11. If they lose this, they're basically on an eco for round 12. So it's all or nothing. You have an orbital strike. You almost have a thrash. But Feng Feng has almost got another showstopper. He's only 10 and 7, but it feels like every kill that he's got has been massive. Feels like he should be like at 15 and 8. Ayang's fighting. Are they going to try and peek off of this? Oh, they were ready to go for a position. I like that Ayang was brave enough to go for that fight. He even has a little bit of a gap here. So 2 versus 5. Kai's pushed up into hookah. He's going to get cleared by the wingman. Is this going to be an Ayang ace? And Leo King doesn't really have anything other than a snake bite. Let him get the ace. Oh, he flubbed it. He flubbed it. But it was still a good effort. The fact that he went for that fight, it was risky, but I think that's the kind of stuff that FPX need to be doing. Because you could see that Trace, even though they had taken shot, they were ready to set up for like this next like taking back site aggressive play. And they lose the Dizzy up here too. So maybe they were like a little bit screwed that they couldn't pick up the Dizzy, refthrow it, re-aggress her backside. Yeah, Ayang is fresh, orbital strike, showstopper, a little bit of a low buy though with a stinger. A lot of stingers actually.
所以他们又只有一波容错，这种枪打的时间越长 ，FunPlus 越占优嘛。
他就这3个大招，现在加上这种多封刺的情况，就是要的什么技能。
Okay, now I have to check if anybody's close. Trace have to respect it.
对，那其实对于FunPlus 这边的一个反制来说，其实 Berlin 的一个一直刃在第2次。
They try to go for this. You do have the gecko over here, like a thrash, a cross, and an orbital strike combo. Could be meaty. Is there any chance to use the orbital strike? No. Actually, Lysol gets caught out before he can use it. They really weren't expecting this fast B execute. There comes the thrash on both sides. He null commanded just before, like, just a little second too late. Nice round from FPX. I mean, Ayang gets a lot of stuff done. Risky. Pandemonium fight, though. What's the second map? What is the second map? Lotus. Lotus and Sunset are the other 2 maps.
咱们也说了，这个喊暂停的这个问题，你下半场怎么来调整，要靠队内选手在场上自己的调整能力了。但是我们不要忘记了
How would you make a China All-Star team? We'll do that in the break. We'll do that between maps. If somebody reminds me, we'll do it then.
偏向于控图，他们在进攻的时候应该能把节奏去抢回来。现在其实轮到 T 的一个防守了，能不能经住这样的考验
I think I've been meaning to do a bit of a tier list as well with China at the moment.
成功率的比例其实还是差距挺大的，首方56，这是得益于他。
I expected a boring FPX and EDG win. I mean, to be fair for Trace, when they were playing a qualifying game against EDG for Madrid, the first map was super close. It was this map that like Trace looked bad on, bind. But I think specifically that was like Flexin, who isn't on that team anymore, looking horrendous. He didn't know what fucking day it was. He's there just like, he's like a sim just running around like Wabanubi. Didn't know where the fuck he should have been. But yeah, Trace is good. They haven't been, like, the loss against DRG made people kind of go, oh, okay, fraud watch time, perhaps. By the way, I don't know if you can see it properly. If I move this, this is what they're doing. They're like copying emotes on the side here. Which hopefully is something that they do for Master Shanghai as well. You think top team scrimming in China for Shanghai will raise the overall level? Oh yeah, for sure. But also, like, if you're a China team, you can scrim against FPX, you can scrim against Gen G and DRX and stuff like that, right? Like, the ping is not that bad. Beginning to repeat the emotes, though? Yeah, there's only so many to go for.
今天其实没有退路的，双败对于他们来说是容错，但是对于他们来说更是一场心气儿的较量。
Like we've sort of watched every game, right? So we see them on repeat. But like,
谁能够成为第一支前往在家门口，在上海的大师赛，这对于大家来说都是可能这一辈子当中最好的一次机会。
Autumn isn't the IGL, right? It's where he's sitting in the middle. I guess it's because he's the non-native Mandarin speaker. Tech do the same thing. I think they put RB in the middle.
如何来形成追分狂潮？
在起降情况上，来福这边也是一个轻甲双惊喜翻腾啊。
Probably good, like a good mental argument as to why.
整体的一个部署还是往 A。
Wasn't the recent EDG Trace game very close too? No, EDG battered Trace. That was only last week though. So I was just making sure that that's up there.
T 的防守回复是可以给你下包的区域，但是包点后点的位置你都别想。
EDG FPX was close. You know, it was a full free mapper and FPX won it. Two of the maps weren't close though. So far though, this gamble of Trace picking this map against FPX is moderately paying off. Pick up this pistol, could be done, but Life is now trying to up the ante, be aggressive. This is not a great fight for him to be taken, especially reloaded. You don't expect that the Viper's just going to push and walk out on you. He knows that he's right behind this wall. What a shit show from both sides. Oh, and Hebei goes down. YU sees a brief glimpse, dodges the wingman that's about to clear him, but Berlin's in the smoke. The wingman goes straight past and hits Feng Feng. Okay, and I have good information on all three players that are alive. Everybody's just missing their shots. Autumn isn't, though. Right, lifeline for FPX.
这回合的话，虽然身位控制已经相当不错了，但是 Autumn 的耐心啊还是有所收获的。
这份也是强行穿障云出嘛，然后三个人从三侧。
I thought it was double overtime. Oh no, you are right. Sorry. It didn't feel close watching it, but yeah, it was double overtime.
正常，毕竟首伤局嘛，双方的这个技能都偏少，就是看这种。
I don't know what I was thinking of.
这就是 FunPlus 比较擅长的做到的一个拉扯吧。
好，这就是 FunPlus， 你看。
Yeah, I can't remember. My bad.
方式对吧？直接是4重甲。
Why Flexin getting replaced by Luo King? I think Flexin wanted to go and play with Ice King for one at Tyloo. And I think just, for me, Luo King is just a much better player. Like, Flexin would come up some crazy clutches, but if it was it's like Martin for JDG. That if it was a bad series, they were just gone. Invisible. Whereas Luo King in like some of the losses, they're still like performing well. They're doing their job.
会主动的去前压，打你个措手不及，还挺有意思。
那现在这一分 T 因为枪械的劣势，直接来了一个5B 啊。
确实还是找到了对方一个重攻策，但现在这样
Tracer on an eco, all 5 players stacked on B.
控完资源，找到人之后再转也来得及。
FunPlus 绝对是不着急的，他没有
just one jump peeking. Don't want to give the game away if you Trace.
对，而且现在所有的队伍如果把优势枪械
You got one watching here to watch if they're gonna push all the way in CT, which would be wild. I mean, they're gonna KO knife. It's gonna get 2. They're going in. They're sending the spike. Eve gets 1, gets 2, gets traded. Lysol gets the rest with some crazy guardian shots.
那其实也会掉到1把的一个长枪，应该是会把辽拳舍弃掉，捡回3把数位加一个狂徒。
EDG smart whole game a couple of days earlier. Yeah, that's might have been crossing my wires. You know if the walk has to be the same as in China's Master Shanghai? I wouldn't see why not. Ryan staying into my soul. I know where you fucking live. I don't. Sorry. It's because I have the telestrator. I have like chat as a telestrator thing. It's really cool. I end up looking at this chat anyway because I don't know, my neck hurts. Huge round for FPX. Yeah, it could have gone massively wrong. It means that their bonus is pretty good, but they have bought up a little bit more than you might expect.
轻甲都不在蟒侠的身上，还好这回合你看有了重甲，峰峰实力。
Even buying up the Outlaw, just expecting it to be some half armor, which they're right on. I mean, Feng Feng's 10 HP, so he has to go get healed by the sky.
但是这样一个 timing 有没有可能 A 点会让对方形成一个突破？
Oh man, I don't know. Like yesterday, I just had a really bad like tension headache. I think. I don't know if I'm just sitting weird.
但对方的回防已经全来了。爆能器没有第一时间安置下来。有技能压制下。哎呦
It's a bit worrying considering
轻甲已经倒
we got like 3 more days of this, not including today. Alright, life goes for a peek. Luo King is just holding onto lamps. Spike's still not been planted. Turning into a bit of like an icebox meta this. Just keep stalling the plant, keep stalling the plant. Try to maybe force them to go for the TP because you still have a player here that might catch them by surprise. Spike's like left on the ground. Luo King is fighting really nicely for lamps, but gets traded. And now it's risky because you've got a player still over on B. You're almost hoping that they just go for the TP here. This is the gamble that Trace were hoping on, but doesn't happen. Last player alive is Kai that has to flank all the way. You've got Brimstone actively watching. KO Knife to sort of check more towards backside here. Like, there's now what you can do for Trace, you just got to save. Why is China your priority compared to other regions? Because nobody's really focusing on China, and I watched a lot of it in the off-season. Also, I used to cast Chinese Overwatch. That's where I got my start. Like, I literally casted a player called Delete Break in like the official tier 2 of China like a few years ago. Like, how could you not want to watch a region like that when it's just a wild west, it feels. Like when you have a player telling, like, putting it in their name. So wait, you can speak Mandarin? No. I mean, I did an English broadcast for China then. Chinese Overwatch was the best thing about Overwatch? Yeah, exactly. Like, you'd literally see them pull out, like, free, like, duelists, I guess, free DPS characters. This is a good timeout, though, for Destroy. You have to, doing one early to just be like, okay, what do we need to work on? Wait, Delete Break? Delete Break is in, like, Brigitte. They were called Delete Break. See if I can quickly find it if I search. I can't find it. Here we go. It's fair to say he probably got into a lot of trouble.
放 plus 在进攻方确实是逐渐起势，但不得不说的是，今天整个 TE 的一个，尤其在上半场进攻端的一个表现是非常亮眼的。攒着劲儿的，就像我们。Is
Sinatra considered the GOAT of Overwatch? Nah, there's only one GOAT for Overwatch for me, and that's Seagull.
一些挫折和重击啊，看一下今天这一场比赛是 TE 能够去扭转这样的局面，还是 FPX 再一次重现历史啊？
直到现在，对方只有一份的这个重甲的情况下，依然是由 Life 把蟒侠摸了出来啊。
抱团前压。
Seagull literally also is getting like the A treatment as well. I just realized.
被阿阳给逮住了，看到了。连下2个，现在只剩小开了。
Dallas Fuel is like Sentinels. Alright, the anti-go so far going well. Just one player on B, one player on A. We wouldn't have Overwatch esports if it wasn't for Jane, no? I mean, Jane was like a year after the Overwatch League started. I always say that Wahujin is our Jane. Almost. If Wahujin was more like esports focused. And then everybody turned around and started hating Wahujin because of all of like the boosting allegations. And then I'm like, he's exactly like Jane because everybody turned against Jane on a dime, it felt like. How good was Carpe at Overwatch? Fairly good. I don't know how to explain it. It would just be kind of like world class in some games, a little bit quiet on others. Oh my god, Luo King. I thought this was done. We're talking about Jane and Overwatch esports.
FunPlus 要不要再转？
但是现在这个位置真的能转吗？已经从铁车的位置。
It's 10 seconds. Oh my god, Lysol has to run away. He has to run away. They still need to plant. Don't melons this.
露了一个小肩膀，8发子弹足够架住。
时间拖不住。
I mean, Lysol has been, yeah, very safe pair of hands, and we're even.
FunPlus 稳稳拿下了这一分。
Yeah, I mean, I'm having that same face as well. Like, guys, how did 2 of you die to a Bucky?
一些表演的机会。
Watching Seagull and Moon streaming Overwatch 2017 was peak Twitch for me, yeah.
Loki 会这样去操作。
就是最后他在算的烟的时间呢，就是那个时间点，如果对方禁烟，他就在烟里等；如果对方不来的话，找一个主动的出烟做拆分的机会，他确实做到。
What do you think about FPX's triple smoke comps and Astra Omen comps? On Lotus, I really like it. I don't know if it was, again, preemptive because of, like, Viper nerfs, but, like, compositionally, it probably doesn't make much sense, but you look at some of the things that they've put together with it, especially, like, A-main aggression on defense, like, having a paranoia and global smokes and, like, grabs. Oh my god, Lua King. He is literally keeping Trace together in this one, I feel. Great round to win. Good bounce back. I'm not one of those, like, analysts or coaches, if you want to call me that is very, oh, why are they playing Reyna on Icebox? This team is stupid. They don't know what they're doing. I definitely think there's, like, optimal comps, and I think, for example, people should be playing a lot more Sage and Sova on Icebox than they are at the moment. But if teams don't run it, it's kind of like your job to learn, to be curious about it. So seeing teams run comps like that, I'm not going to be like, it's trash, why they're running it. And clearly there's a reason, and it's kind of on me to work out what the reason is. Either by just asking them, which is hard because I don't speak Mandarin, or by just watching a lot of what they do. Viper nerfs won't kill Viper in pro play? No, I don't think so either. Depends on the map, but for Bind, I think we'll still see Viper. On Breeze and Icebox, we'd still see Viper. Maybe you see some Harbor come in to fill the gaps a bit, but Sunset, I think, is the only map where you might have played Viper before, where you probably aren't going to now.
实在的，但是你看一下，其他队友还在一个架默认的阶段，现在更多还是一个佯攻，尽量来锁人打 fake 的一个时间段啊。
因为你现在打 B 其实属于是佯谋，而 FunPlus 其实这样打 B 是不稳的，所以他们不会第一时间去硬攻这个 B 包。
位置基本上锁的，你这个。
Also, it's definitely a case of doing a common comp but just changing it slightly is a huge advantage at the best of times. Especially if teams don't actively anti-strat you, which, you know, in tier 1 they should do. Showstopper backside. The nade, though, gets him. It was like a molly here, a nade here, and a showstopper here. Like, if you're playing backside, you're just dead. Now what you can do. 4v3. These players are kind of cooked up, though. There is an orbital strike. There's no mosh. There's no molly. I think so much of this relies on why are you just holding onto this ground as long as possible. Is there a Dizzy? There is. There is a wingman. There goes the Dizzy. It's broken. They sort of know where Berlin is roughly, but you don't have another flash. Wingman broken. Still definitely know where he is. But you have nothing now. Why are you... Tries to eke in to close this out. Really good support from Autumn. Great fight from Lua King. Great trade again from Autumn. How he's taking these fights is amazing. Lua King is still making this close, though. But he still has to get through 2 players, an orbital strike, and a Brimstone hasn't shown their position yet. Really lucky for FPX for Autumn to go get that kill, because they were about to orbital strike then.
皮弹是直接用来拉枪线了，所以就算进到包点里面，只要有人退在后点，是很难你去拆这个爆能器的时候把这个时间给用好的。
对，而且现在这种局面的话，相对
Just Viper being this good in a map pool where she is at least viable. Literally every single map was just very tiring to watch. Yeah, agreed.
那个位置，一边是玩焰火，一边是踩雷飞剑，是没办法的。
尤其现在对于
Like, she just does too much, I think.
1分的情况下就被拦住了。现在对于第一的经济啊，压力。
Well, like his utility specifically does too much.
现在9比9，下半场变得异常焦。
Like, if you think about the snake bite, people were like, oh, it's not the strongest bit of a kit. It's a molly that does a good amount of damage. It vulnerables. It's one of the fastest traveling, like when you throw it forward, because you kind of like spit it out. It doesn't explode in the air. You know, like a medal, when you throw it in the air, it explodes, or like a Phoenix molly, you throw it in the air, 2 seconds later, it goes boom. Viper molly can travel across the map. It travels very quickly. It bounces off objects. Its radius is pretty good.
这一回合可能不太容易放点啊。
这回合就是一个堵点，然后攒蓄自己的一个终极技能。
And then like Viper Wall, you can put it up wherever you are on the map. It decays an opponent. It's long. You can use it multiple times. This combo, though, it doesn't hit Feng Feng, and he's got a shot. How has he got out of this? Looking Houdini. He was good. I swear he was going to get a kill there if it wasn't for Luo King. You know where the race is. They're still backed into a corner. They've got 2 people shooting him. It takes 2 people to take him down. And now it's just, why are you alive with a Bucky only? It's no comparable character to Viper. Yeah, I think a lot of people say, well, Harbor is. And like, not really. And if you make a comparable character, would it be a Sentinel or would it be a controller? Because Viper's kind of both. Alright. Tracer getting sort of close with these anti-eco rounds, these thrifties, but no cigar. I do like the change of not being able to pick up the orb, though. Yeah, FPX are making this attack side. A defensive side, sorry. I just think China teams would get destroyed at Masters. I think that really depends a lot on which teams we send from other regions. Like, I think Paper X would be good against China. I think T1 would struggle massively against some of these Chinese teams unless you've been actively scrimming them and you're like aware of them. Gen G potentially, I think it's very map dependent and who they play. But like for EMEA, I think Fnatic would struggle massively against some of these teams if they qualify. I think Heretics could. Wait, what? It was Heretics that won, wasn't it? KC could potentially. Foot could. I can imagine Foot versus FPX on Lotus. The triple controller versus Foot's like Lotus comp. I think Berlin would just be sat there just like, alright, this is what I live for, baby, let's go. Just which team could just play the weirdest shit. Foot would slap China, I think. Yeah, like, I think the way the Foot's playing at the moment, like the comps and stuff that they're running now. I think Turkish aim versus China aim, like, I know... I still think China... It's very close between them. Big kills just literally spraying for a smoke. What Riot really need to do is take from CS2 or just even CSGO. If you get a kill for a smoke, have a little like smoke icon. But it would go such a long way to just helping watch this game. To just be like, wait, how did he get? Oh, it's for a smoke. No scope icon as well. What's another one? We have wallbang already. Fully flashed and you get a kill. Forgive the observer icon. Yeah. Like, I don't know anything about game development, so it's easy for me to say I don't know why they haven't added it. Yeah, Luo King has been worth his money today. Replay system, that'd be nice, but I also fully understand why Riot have been at least slow on it. Because you can't sell a replay viewer. That's one thing I do miss about like Blizzard. Like a lot of the stuff that Blizzard, like the custom, like game creator stuff, the arcades, the replay viewer, the improvements they made for like observing the game before the Overwatch League started. It's a need. It's easy for us to say it's a need though because we're watching esports. For a normal plebeian player in Valorant, they don't. People will say like, "Oh yeah, I'd use it all the time." They won't. They just won't. I'd love a replay system, but I fully understand why there isn't one in the game. And it feels like Riot are at least going to make it. But if they turn around and said, we can't. Like, it's just too much work, it's too costly. I'd understand that to an extent. More and more into shrimp position. Yeah, thank you for the posture check. You got a Gecko all the way back here. And then Feng Feng actually has the operator.
而且你看现在这个站位 ，FunPlus 3人这个站位。
No timeouts for FPX. I think Trace still have one more, or if they used it again.
一直没有预示测的一个信息，然后第二时间还看到了 KO 的一个位置，所以现在
Had to add it retroactively.
其实 T 的判断是非常准确的。晚焰火过来
Oh, he gets Hebe in the smoke. Again, like an icon there to show that it was through the smoke kill, not visible.
从中进点吗？有随便一出的一个意志，直接给压了回来。
赶紧大踏步去清理自己。
No timeout for Trace. Yeah, they had one like after they lost the bonus. Viper's Pit. This flank could be everything. Oh, he did a Mitch. He actually did a Mitch. He thought that this was the flanking play that we were watching and like seeing the timing.
其实你别说，真有一个绕后的机会。
Because he just missed out on here too.
正面队友倒完了，他现在绕后其实也
Either that or he was talking about it here, but he didn't quite get on the angle.
绕中绕啊，现在其实对于他来说就很难了。哎呦，可惜啊，正面还是被阿阳给拆了。
对峰峰
I mean, they're just saving. They're not even going to go for this.
Locking 也不会再去绕后打人了。直接把这2把枪给保下来，但是刘一手这边要缴。
我经济好不给。
All smokers on Lotus with people spamming Odins through Wall of Peak Valorant.
没有 surprise。
One of the first times I've seen people on Reddit and stuff being like, this was a horrible viewing experience.
峰峰这里这杆明
And it's not like aimed at the observers, right, Zilv? It's not aimed at you.
来了。
It was just literally one of those things of like, yeah, this is where the game started to feel a bit like Overwatch. And I think one of the easiest things, like,
必传送门到。
one change that you can make that's just quality of life that doesn't affect the balance of the game or the way that the maps are and stuff is just adding icons like that.
2分其实
But again, no clue how, if it's hard to do.
隔出了一定的枪线之后，你黑屋这个位置过来，你是连双架可能都没法做到的，双拉都没法做到的。
这回合就是没省技能嘛，该交的就是果断去投入，想把
I'd see why they don't have it now. Yeah, I mean,
来快速进入自己的盘点啊。
CS take a lot of stuff from Valorant, right? Being able to resell weapons,
太大影响的一个情况下，
even like the UI to an extent.
差一个点是有
No tech pause? Genuinely, this is the most tech pauses we've had in China.
情况是有
So if you're new here, if it's the first time watching China, you're the problem. You're the one that causes a lot of tech pauses. It's not Pansy or High Pockets you.
首先就是在浴室第一波的一个强行提点，然后
I'm trying to think of like other quality of life things that I've said about the game. I think one of the big ones for Premiere that's been on my mind a lot.
经历第一波的一个避险，第二波自己主动点。
I think Premiere is a really good system. Sorry, it's not with an E at the end. That's Adobe Premiere.
其实对于 B2 有一个明确的公式，有没有可能？
We're seeing more like Premiere going into tier 2 regions. Like we had it for Northern Europe. We had some teams come in through there. G2 Gozen did it through the DAC qualifiers. Like Premiere as a system like that is amazing. But one thing that they need to do, Premiere results should not be
所以刚才2回合的选择
accessible.
我去等你漏信息。
Oh, we're about to get straight into this.
锋锋的迷局去单侧抓。
Like, I shouldn't be able to go on like tracker.gg and see a team's stats on Premiere, like what comps they're running, how much they won by, stuff like that.
直接抑制住啊，这个位置可以把 elbow 可以把
Should be like custom games where you can hide that information.
两个先锋在这边的 FunPlus 绝对不会冒险穿烟出，然后面对对面的双闪去打反清的。
是的，而且确定2个人在前点的情况下，那可能点内是一个重房子，可能是一个3人起步，所以这回合直接选择转点思路是对的。
对，而且因为
Doesn't China require a replay system in Valorant? What it essentially is, as far as I know, is like the AP. You know, like when you go into your like stats and stuff after a game, and it's got like the API data of where people are stood. It's like that,
看现在 T
but a little bit more prepped up.
把灯房位置让开，让自己的迷局发挥起。哦，锋锋的直接被穿掉，奥特曼瞬间拉出浴室想打通吗 ？Locking 的补防来了 ，Locking 补防。
哦，把浴室的位置
It basically replays through the API and not through like tracking of stuff.
同时再开
They're going through the Viper's Pit. They just cut straight through Lure King.
完有第二时间踩毒出
Oh, why are you still here?
一个再推回来，
2v2.
血量已经压得非
Oh, Niang pushes this. Massive kill.
阶段了，只剩下了我有自己一个人，手里没有任何能够支援的道具。
这个2楼的枪线将是绝杀，但是放出鲨鱼其实也同样的效果。
鲨鱼高跳
又被抓到了，那这一分 FunPlus 稳稳拿下来，来到了盘点。
是，确实啊，来到了进攻端以后，FunPlus 整个的节奏流畅了很多啊。
我 FunPlus 在这种
It's no different a match that's been public in tier 1 and tier 2. That's true. But like not actual, like you can see where people are positioned at the start of the map. That's kind of what I mean for one. And two, in officials you don't have to play every map. In Premiere you kind of do because each week is different.
就是对方一直有人没有露头，代表着基本位置是确定的，就是手夹方向想来做一个180度枪线的配合的，所以
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
这个节奏找得非常好。 口令现在差一个点儿，有无效命令啊，有没有可能接下来围绕他来尽量控一颗球啊？所以现在
Nice shot from Yang.
，T1
Two chances, and it looks like those 2 chances might be up. I mean, especially if Trace just keep picking into this one at a time.
对抗的情况下，FunPlus 已经大丰收了。
哦，就剩2个了，现在只剩2个烟的情况下有点难，现在只能选择 Locking 主动的从 A 小的前压，他去得主动找背身了，不然现在点的只靠黑贝来硬扛，压力太大了。
T1这个时候有没有英雄能够站出来？
能不能
因为他们再输1分，大好局面的员工重镇就没有了。
没机会4了，一点机会都不给。绕后还没到，点内已经掉。
那所有技能 all in 出来，然后
Well, 1 versus 5 for Leo King. He's been good, but I don't know if he's been that good. Not quite. Flawless way to end it, 13-10. Really nice comeback from FPX, but genuinely good effort from Trace. This is going to be a really hard series anyway, because all of the maps that Trace like, FPX also like, and FPX being a little bit better on them. Case in point, like Lotus coming up. So, I think it's just 2 defensive round wins, right, on defense. They lose the pistol, they lose the bonus.
最后1分啊，利用了对面。
And this is literally just a default. At this point, FPX are doing nothing. Just Trace walking into the guns one at a time. Tier list for the map break, I think. Yeah, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, super team as well.